I'm 84 years old, and I've been sitting in this kitchen for the past hour just looking at her chair, Margaret's chair, the one she always pulled slightly away from the table, just enough to cross her legs. I never noticed she did that until after she was gone. 6 years now, and I'm still learning things about her that I missed in 51 years of living beside her. That's the thing that keeps me up at night. Not the grief exactly. Grief I've learned to carry. It's the realization, quiet and crushing, that I shared a life with a woman I didn't fully know, and the not knowing wasn't her fault, it was mine, because I wasn't paying enough attention. We met in 1965. She was 22. I was 27 and already convinced I knew what mattered. A steady job, a respectable life, a future built on something solid. I was teaching by then, history of all things, spending my days explaining other people's lives to teenagers, while my own life unfolded in the background like something I'd get to later. Maggie was patient. That's what I told myself. She was patient and calm, and she didn't need much from me. That's how I read her for decades. Quiet, steady, fine. I was wrong about all of it. We raised Daniel and Claire in this house. She handled most of that, the homework, the fevers, the arguments about curfew. I was present in the way that felt like enough at the time. I came home for dinner most nights. I fixed things when they broke. I provided. I thought that was the shape of what love looked like in a marriage like ours. She never complained. That was the thing. She never sat me down and said, "Eldon, you are missing me." So I assumed I wasn't. When I retired at 67, we had 17 years ahead of us. We didn't know that then. You never know the number, but that's what we had. 17 years to finally be together the way we never quite managed when I was teaching. I had all these ideas, trips we'd take, mornings with nowhere to be. I'd learn who she really was. I told myself we'd have time. The first few years of retirement I filled with projects, the garden, fixing the back fence, reorganizing the garage. I was busy in the way that retired men get busy, not with anything that mattered, just with motion, keeping myself useful. Maggie pottered around me. She read a lot. She called Claire on Sunday afternoons and talked for an hour. She watched birds from the kitchen window and kept a little notebook where she wrote down which ones she'd seen. I didn't know about the notebook until after she died. Claire found it in the nightstand drawer. 14 years of birds written in Maggie's small, careful handwriting. Cardinals, nuthatches, indigo buntings, dates and weather. Little notes beside some of them. 2 of them this morning. Cold day. Eldon was in the garage. I read that notebook cover to cover the week after her funeral. It was like meeting someone new. She had an interior life I'd never entered. Not because she'd locked the door, but because I'd never really knocked. She had a sense of humor that came out mostly when I wasn't the audience. Claire told me after the funeral that her mother used to call her on those Sunday afternoons and make her laugh until she cried. I never heard Maggie laugh like that, not once. I thought I knew her laugh, the small, polite one she gave me. I didn't know she had another one. She had opinions about things I thought she didn't care about. Politics, architecture, whether people were kind or just pretending. She told Claire things she never told me. Not secrets exactly, just herself. The parts of herself she had learned over 50 years not to offer me because I was usually somewhere else in my head, even when my body was in the room. The last 2 years of her life she was ill, heart mostly. She moved more slowly, slept more. I sat with her more in those 2 years than I had in the previous 15 combined. I made her tea every morning. I watched birds with her from the kitchen window, though I didn't understand then why she loved it so much. I held her hand during the bad nights. Those 2 years are the ones I carry most carefully. They're what I have, but they are also the evidence of everything I didn't do before them. She died on a Thursday morning in March, quietly, the way she did most things. I was right there holding her hand. And even in that last moment I thought, I still don't know what she's thinking. I still don't know if she knows how much. I still don't know if I ever made her feel like the most important thing. I don't have an answer to that. I never will. After she was gone, I found other things. A letter she'd started writing to Claire and never finished, 3 pages about what she hoped for her. A small box of photographs I'd never seen from before we met, from a version of her life I was never part of. A woman laughing on a beach somewhere, young and free and entirely herself. I looked at that photograph for a long time. I loved her. I want to say that plainly. I loved her for 51 years and I love her still. But love isn't only a feeling you keep inside yourself. It's attention. It's curiosity. It's asking someone who they are and meaning it and listening to the answer without already thinking about the next thing on your list. I didn't ask enough. I assumed I already knew, and assumptions in a marriage are just a slow way of disappearing from each other. If you're with someone, really with someone, not just living in the same house, ask them things you don't know the answer to, not big questions, small ones. What they think about when they go quiet, what they wanted to be before life narrowed down to what it became, what makes them laugh when you're not watching. You think you know. I thought I knew. I knew her schedule and her preferences and the way she took her coffee. I didn't know her. There's a cardinal that comes to the garden every morning now, sits on the fence post for a few minutes, then leaves. I watch it from the kitchen window. I write it down in a new notebook I started after I found hers. It's the closest thing I have to a conversation with her now, and it's more than I deserve probably, but I take it anyway.